Work it, make it, do it, makes us harder, better, faster, stronger.
That don't kill me. Can only...
Hey guys, Sam Preston Bach here with Ryan at Varsity Sports in Mandeville. Today we're continuing our running series and we're going to talk about endurance supplements and hydration. So Ryan, you want to start us off here?
Sure. I think one of the things that people get really concerned about when they're getting to an endurance event is their nutrition. And nutrition is food as well as hydration, it's fluids that you take in. So some things to be aware of as you're going through your training and then as you're also getting into your event. So some of the things we have here on the table. And I do want to say a couple things about this. Not every product or type of food or type of drink works for everybody. So as you go through your training, experiment with different things, see what works for you. What works for me might not work for you, may not work for you. So just try some different things, and you know, sometimes we have folks that come in and will get 4 or 5 different items to see what works. So let's go through some of those things now.
These, I like these a lot, but if you put them in your pocket, make sure you guys zip them, okay? So why are these good? So
these are sport beans. These have some caffeine in there. They have electrolytes. Electrolytes are calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. It also has some simple sugars as well as more complex sugars. So with a couple things with touching on those particular areas of the different supplements we have here. Caffeine is really good, and there's a lot more research coming out now that talks about the health benefits of caffeine, and being a coffee drinker, I love hearing that.
Right.
But you know, a usual cup of coffee has between 90 and 100 milligrams of caffeine.
Do you know how much is in here?
Usually one of these, if it's a regular amount of caffeine, be about 35. If it's 2 times, or if it's, you know, they say it has more, it's usually about 50. So you're not going to have the jitteriness that you'd be concerned. You probably will not have some of the gastrointestinal issues that you might have from caffeine as well. And also too, when you try any of this, I would encourage you the first time or two to try it near your home or a place where you can use the restroom if you need to, just in case you should have some what's called the runner's trots. So just things to be aware of. So that's the caffeine, the electrolytes, the calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. Those you need to help your muscles contract. You also need you need those to help your muscles relax. So if you've ever had a cramp, maybe from dehydration, from lack of electrolyte levels in your body, it could be that the muscles have contracted and don't have enough to make them relax. So that's having that balance is very, very important. Okay. And then also keeping your energy level, and usually that's in the form of carbohydrates, is important. The simple carbohydrates that are in these, most of these products, is something like a fructose. Gets in your system pretty quick, and kind of keeps your energy level, gets you a little burst. And then maltodextrin is a longer sustained carbohydrate, more complex sugar, and keeps that energy level up. So, you know, with any of these, and I'll tell you how to use them here in a second, but with any of these, as you exercise, your energy level is here, your sugar level is here. It begins to come down. You want to keep it up as best you can at a steady a level as you can throughout your training and throughout your event. So that's why they have these different things. As far as dosage, as far as how you take it, usually with some of these, and you know, whether it's the sport beans, whether it's the gels that you might have heard of GU, and that's just a brand, but there's a number of different types of gels that are out there. There are things that are a little bit more chewy, almost like gummy bears. It comes in packages like this, and it's 1 or 2 servings. You know, when you take a serving, you can take it about every 40 minutes throughout your training. So usually the recommendation is going to be take it about 15 minutes before you're thinking about starting your training. It kind of gets that energy level up. and then about every 40 minutes thereafter. So as that energy level and sugar level begins to come down, you take one of these, it kind of gets you back up. Maybe you're not at the same level you were when you first started, but it keeps you in somewhat of a more energy sustaining level.
Now, what is the time frame before you can feel these kick in, typically, after you eat them?
Well, everybody's different. You know, someone's metabolism is very, very high. They're going to digest these faster, and it's going to get into their bloodstream a lot quicker. You know, I've had folks say I took it, and within 5 minutes, you know, I felt better. I had a better energy level. It felt like, you know, probably more 10 to 15 minutes.
Right.
You know, but it's going to get in your system pretty quick.
I felt like when I was using the beans and a combination of the goo was about 10 minutes for me too.
Yeah.
And these are all also considered performance enhancers too, because of, like you said, with keeping the insulin nice and steady. And then like the sports beans with the caffeine, of course, kind of give you a little more energy too.
Right.
So,
right. Again, these are all legal performance enhancers. They've all been tested.
Nature at its best.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. You know, and again, with some of these levels, you know, caffeine is on the anti-doping drug list for enormous levels. So you wouldn't even come close to any of this, because you're going to use it and deplete some of it before you take some again.
Right.
You know, so you know, if you are in an event that requires, you know, that they're going to have some testing at, just kind of be aware of what the circumstances are before you decide to take any of these. Also, too, if you have any health issues, if you're diabetic, if you have any other health issues that may be affected by some of these supplements, you know, check with your doctor first, as always. It is nutrition. It does have different levels of chemicals that and electrolytes and whatnot in it, but just some things to kind of be aware of.
Right. Now, what length of run would you start using these endurance supplements?
Usually, if you're going to be an hour or more, I would say is a good time to use it. You know, for me, because of the way my body digests these, if I'm doing an hour-long, you know, event, training run, I won't use anything at all. I might use water. But for some folks, you know, an hour is usually a good time frame. That if they have to see what their energy level is going to be, and again, that takes experimentation on your part to see what's going to work for you. But usually, an hour is pretty good. Now, if it's the first time or two and you're trying to experiment with it, if you're doing a couple miles in your neighborhood, again, near your house, go ahead and take it. I don't think that's going to be a problem. Again, to see how your body kind of reacts with it. Practice makes perfect, even with the supplements as well, to make sure to see what works well.
And then I know for me, you know, I also looked at convenience when I started using these in my training, and like these chomps, these are like delicious. But I would have to stop with the beans. I like that, you know, I could put them in my pocket. But what's your favorite? What do you?
Well, kind of my recipe, if I'm going to go on a training run, and again, my long runs are usually Saturday or Sunday mornings because they take the longest. My recipe will be something like, you know, a Cliff Bar is about 260 calories for one serving. If you can digest between 250 and 300 calories, I usually do this about an hour before I'm going to get out. So I'll take this first. I'll take with about 8 ounces of water to wash it down, because there is some fiber in here, and you want to make sure that you're washing down anything with fiber with enough fluids so you don't kind of get bogged down. Everything kind of moves along. I also, goo works best for me for size of it. You know, one of these.
You can just put that in
your pocket, in your shorts, real nice.
Pretty easy to eat too. As you're jogging, you don't have to stop.
Nope. Tear the top off, squeeze it down. Follow it again with about 8 ounces of water, and then you know, I might also, if I'm going really long and you know I have maybe a little pouch or something to hold it, I might do the chomps. Yep, the chomps, or even the Cliff Blocks. Again, same type of thing. It's just kind of a gummy bear kind of consistency.
Right.
So again, it's finding what works best with you. Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome, the Christian and Christian Dior. Damn, they don't make them like this anymore. I asked cause I'm not sure. Do anybody make real shit anymore? Bow in the presence of greatness, cause right now that has forsaken us. You should be honored by my lateness, that I would even show up to this fake shit.